It never appeals to me. I'm hilarious. It is pretty funny. I see it. That's because you people. Well, I like movies with like some depth, like Revenge of the Nerds or Revenge of the Nerds 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dumb
and Dumber. And 2. Everybody's left the chat already. Come on, we're not that boring, Doris.
Did she fall off her meds?
Doris, lay off the meds.
We're going to have just a little bit of a roundtable discussion tonight with members of the team and talk about whatever comes to mind, but paranormal related, hopefully, back on topic.
Slightly. Yes. Okay. They are just now. And they might even make a green fog.
That's a little more than we need. We have to start calling you the rebel.
Slimer. So, Lisa might need to put you on a leash. She tries. She really, pinches me under the table. Ow. Gosh, Lisa, you're so mean.
Well, at least, now there's a video.
I know, there's no proof.
No, several things going on. I mean, we were discussing last night the subject of butterfly people.
You were. I was standing over in the corner looking pretty. I want to know this conversation. Butterfly people? Yeah, you didn't hear about the butterfly people during the Joplin tornado? No.
Okay.
You guys were talking about that, and I actually had, you were talking about butterfly people. Okay.
Describe for the viewers.
Okay, butterfly people are basically human-figured spirit, bright light spirit with butterfly wings. I'm curious, though, and this was, this wasn't just one person that said this. This was 40 to 50 plus or so.
Yes.
That said that they had encountered butterfly people during the tornado, or after the tornado. During and after.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I get that. I mean, I can see where spirit has been able to help. And we all have spirit guides that help us through certain aspects of our lives, and we all have, we know that spirit is still there, and that's what we do in paranormal. We're proving that fact, right? There's more to it than just, this body goes away and there's nothing left. We are actually more like a light being, right?
Right.
Okay, so my question is, where is the butterfly wings coming?
Well, I think that's the uniqueness with the Japanese spirit. Well, that's what I wonder, because and what I found, even right after the tornado, and we're talking about the F5 tornado in Joplin in 2011, that during the tornado you had dozens of people, mainly children, describe to first responders and to ER personnel that these beams of light came down and beams.
Oh.
We're not talking about tacos. Yeah. Forget tacos.
Forget tacos.
We're not talking ghost tacos. We're talking butterfly people.
I sit in my corner.
No. But that these butterfly people would basically be over them or people with them and keep the wind away, keep debris away, keep them from being pulled and sucked up. And it was universal that their description was butterfly people and not angels, which, especially when, Joplin and Southwest Missouri were in the Bible.
That's true. That is kind of odd. My thought on that, though, that you guys were talking about it, was that I think that the butterfly people actually were angels. But maybe in text prior to.
I agree with that, sorry. That was what I was supposed to understand.
I think that Ben's mom said yes. I don't know if you saw it dancing or yeah. I think it's got to be basically an angel that I think it's misrepresented in the way maybe they look.
Mm-hmm.
Or they can, it's scary. The whole says they can't take whatever form they want.
If you go back to the more ancient texts about angelic beings, there's a hierarchy of angels. Yeah. We're here at the John White House in Joplin tonight, and as usual, it's very active.
There's like a chair move on a wooden floor. And I don't think there's any wooden floors up there, if I remember right. And they're all carpeted.
Yeah.
I actually felt the vibration in the floor.
And there's no one else anywhere else in the house.
Not that we're aware of it. Well, nobody skin.
Exactly. Well, but I mean, there's a lot of dogma about different strata of angelic beings, and so certainly some could, who knows what their appearance are.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
On the flip side, playing devil's advocate, no pun intended, who's to say there aren't other spiritual beings?
I agree with that, too. I mean, very well could be just about anything. I wish that, in some kind of twisted way, I kind of wish that I had been in that path and experienced it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just because that's just who we are as normal people, we want to see that type of thing. Which the other people think you all are crazy. I don't really get into being inside a tornado. That would have been okay, number one. Because that interests me. And then seeing some of the paranormal that happened during that time.
Yeah.
There was millions of that. I mean, that was just a small aspect of what happened, and it was pretty awesome.
It really is, and I think regardless, it seems to be something supernatural, paranormal of some sort, definitely. And when you have so many people with the same descriptions, describe them exactly the same, I mean, that gives a lot of credibility to it. And I know some people would say, oh, well, it's kids, but these are kids who didn't have time to talk to people. They weren't comparing stories. This is what they were telling people, pulling them out of rubble, and when they got to the hospital, they were telling the nurses and doctors, and they hadn't seen, it's not like a classroom of kids got together and told a story.
Yeah, and the fact that, too, I mean, if anybody was here during that time period, it was utter chaos for months. I mean, it really was not, there was no way we could get together and come up with this story and was able to share it practically.
And remember that your adults also had a similar experience. They were all children.
Well, we've also had experiences with, we're not aware of any adults that saw butterfly people. We are aware of adults that saw shadow people that were in similar...
Okay. I got a story like that, I think.
Yeah, they were diving into safety and stuff like that, which is, in essence, maybe just because the kids that saw them, or just because they're... No, you're right. Just like they can see...
And their parents or whoever next to them, they really could not see. I think the same thing when we investigate and we get things on high-speed film that show up apparitions or shadow people show up at high speed that you don't catch in real time, either on 30 frames per second or you don't catch with the naked eye, because we only see 240 frames per second, period. And
I see like about, I see nothing. That's why I'm going. Yeah.
Do something about it. You're blind with that.
I know. That's why I see more than you do. No, I hear more than that. No, I see it. I see the material stuff.
That's a whole other stuff.
It's a whole animal.
But, one thing that you're curious about the Joplin tornado is you almost have this dichotomy. You have stop.
What does dichotomy mean? Look at that dichotomy. I don't know how to spell that. Dichotomous key. Dichotomy. A division of contrast between two things that are or are represented as being opposed or entirely different. Okay. Continue.
Okay.
Thank you.
Little right and dark. Because you have the butterfly people, which are light beings, and then you have the shadow people, and they both seem to be doing a similar purpose. They were there in a protective or helping capacity, which the butterfly people really do seem to be a lot like angels, guardian angels, and perhaps that's what we perceive as guardian angels, whatever they are, whether they're angelic or something else. But the shadow people, another interesting thing with the shadow people is that they were walking along with survivors.
So can you stop it up hand?
Do that now.
Yeah,
actually, had a judge ask an attorney one day if he had the bail handcuffing if he could talk. And he literally said, no.
I didn't think so.
You have to move away from Rachel when she's talking because it's like, yeah, it's nice. That's why I'm sitting so far away. It's no one to hear it.
Okay.
So she was driving on the front of a van, a conversion van, and a speeding car ran a red light and crashed into her side of the vehicle. Extremely hard. And after the accident, it was over the next day. Her compartment was crushed around her, and it was a miracle that she wasn't injured. So the next day, we were all sitting around talking to the friend of ours who was driving the car, and my stepdaughter says to the friend whose name is Mickey, she says, oh, I heard this Mickey say, hold on. And then we got hit, and Mickey said, I didn't say hold on. He said, I never saw the car that hit us. I never saw them coming. And she said, as pure and innocent as a 9-year-old child could be, she goes, oh, somebody said it. We all just looked at each other like there's obviously somebody there with her. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, you have similar stories. I mean, in your own account.
Yeah, very, very much so. And I think I'll get there in just a second, but...
Okay. Big minutes.
I don't know where it goes out. He's looking at me. No, I was going to mention this for a second with the shadow people and after the tornado. The interesting thing is they were helping people. They were walking with them in the streets, almost like The Walking Dead, which is not a typical thing for shadow people. Generally shadow people tend to run.
They don't stick around.
And then also, people often have the perception that shadow people are hostile or evil or whatever. And I think it's a good example of show that certainly isn't the case. I mean, and that was a very widespread experience. And for anyone that's not familiar with the Joplin tornado, the devastation was so complete. I mean, it was like a war zone. I think that's the only way you can really describe it.
Yeah. I think some war zones were us, to be honest with you.
Well, and then you had people dying in the streets. You had people who, in the hours afterwards, coming across with them. I know someone personally who was walking down 20th Street trying to get to Rangeline to find their daughter, finding a woman in a car who'd been impaled by a 2x4 waiting for someone to kill her and put her out of misery. And so you had all of these things going on, and then you had a large number of people describe seeing shadow people walking along with the survivors, almost as if they were caretakers or getting them to safety. And that's sort of almost a unique experience. I mean, offhand, I don't know of any other shadow people stories like that.
I've been walking with people now.
No, but helping.
I've shared my story of the shadow person that was with me as a child, but it wasn't the same situation. It was strictly standing in the doorway. I mean, there was no,
more, watchers.
Yeah, there were watchers. And, I mean, when I was like 6 or 7, I remember at Dad's house going back into my room and seeing a shadow person sitting in my bed. And I was like, It scared me. So I ran into my dad and was like, there's a monster sneaking in my bed. And then he comes walking back with me, and he goes, there anymore. I was like, that's creepy. And Dad's like, oh, you just scared me. So yeah, for sure.
Pretty good, and that was probably just a watcher, someone, kind of watching over you.
Yeah, I mean, our house is like 100 anyway. It's not as bad as yours, but...
Excuse me?
I don't like any entity that pretends like they're cooking and never produces a cookie. That's all. Slim a lot. It's wrong.
Well, referring to the fact I have a spirit that is often in my kitchen and going through the motions of cooking.
Never smell anything, never see anything.
I think this is just you saying you want me to bake cookies.
Now, why would you go about saying that?
I can't imagine.
Are you calling me fat?
No.
That was a fat thing. She never thought about you.
It was not.
She was just saying that you would prefer to have cookies. She was there?
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, I just wanted to have all. She was convinced that I didn't care.
Yeah.
My question about the butterfly people is the next track, because it's a dichotomy. I think that is
two opposing things.
He just said two opposing things instead of dichotomy. It was a whole lot shorter. Anyway, how come we haven't heard of butterfly people prior to butterfly? I think it was something.
That's another conversation.
That's a Mongolian barbecue. Yeah, but I think we haven't heard about butterfly people prior to that tornado. I mean, that's the neat part about. I mean, you can look back in history, and I haven't seen any reference to butterfly people ever.
No, I mean, I haven't either, and that's also, I think that's why it's so curious, and particularly with children, and so many children in this area that, are very schooled in Christianity. I would expect to hear they saw angels.
Angels, not butterfly people.
Right. But that's not, I mean, universally it was described that way. So, I mean, I don't know what, I certainly don't think it's something new per se, but it's the first time that it's really been documented or talked about.
Right.
And that's really interesting. But, there are a lot of, maybe there are a lot of different kinds of, say, protective kind of spirits that we get all wrapped up into what's scary and what's spooky. And it seems like that there are a lot that are here for a good purpose, whether it's small children's stories, etc. And
I think we don't ever hear about that. I mean, people, you're right, people talk about the demons and all this more than they talk about the helper spirits. I mean, there are far more helper spirits than there is demonic spirit, period. There's far more helper spirit than there is negative. I mean, in the short time that I've been doing this, the most negativity I've seen is just grumpiness. I mean, really. We come across grumpy spirits from time to time. Hello.
well, yeah. I mean,
like that light bulb when you turn me next to your head. That's a good place, because it went up above the door, and it went up that way.
Yeah. Well, and I think this will be the jumping off spot for the second spirits around my family.
Jump
off. And this isn't a shadow person or a light being or anything. This is a full body apparition that he has appeared to various members of the family, thousands of miles apart, years apart, completely independent without people knowing about it till years later and comparing notes. But he appears as an African-American man, older man with a gray beard, dressed in mid-1800s work clothes, slouch hat, duster, work clothes, and he appears generally when there's a problem or danger. Generally seems to appear a lot to children, particularly boys in the family. But oh, come on now. Go there.
I'm just thrown off the balcony from this guy.
But as my oldest son, Alex, who didn't catch up to, so he would usually show up for him when he was about to get in trouble, almost in the morning.
Right.
And
like they don't ask.
yeah, stop. And he would appear around the house. He started appearing to my oldest son when he was about 8, and would appear on the porch, etc. And never ceased, but would smile away. And in the presence was always signaled by the smell of tobacco. And it would be in a contained area. Now, I've never seen them or anything, but, I've had the kids say that, we go to the person with the Batman. The Batman's here. And you go out and you can walk in and out of it. It didn't shift with the wind or anything. It was a contained area. And he would just appear at different times. Alex actually had him appear, let me see, Jim, appear down the strip light. And he and some friends were down there, and some of the kids had been walking down a crossroad for about a quarter mile, and Alex, who's pretty sensitive, had been seeing shadowmen in the fields on either side and rustling sounds. And he heard something behind him, and he turns around to look, and when he turns back forward again, the Batman appeared in front of him and just pointed back down the road to where they'd come. And I said, that was enough for me. That was enough for me to turn and going back. And when the other kids were being followed, and when they got back, there was a truckload of drunk guys there hassling the other kids. And so he really took it that it was, he was the back there type thing. Because,
nobody ever showed up, so we're going to put him in the combo.
Other family members across the country had similar experiences. He actually appeared during a car wreck with my mother, who had never seen him, and we'd never really discussed it with her because she's not much of a believer. And we did a horrible car wreck. Someone ran a red light, T-boned her, and it's in her ear hole spinning. And she came out of the crash. It was really weird. She shouldn't have been that way. About 2 weeks later, she starts talking to me and says, I think I died in that wreck, and that someone was with me. And she starts describing that she had an out-of-body experience during the wreck, and she was outside the car standing on the street and could see herself in the car. And she goes, but I wasn't alone. And there was someone standing in front of me, and I said, who? She said, I don't know, but I just know that he was a black man because he was standing in front of me. He had a long black duster on with a hat, and he was moving his hands, and I could see his hands. And she said, I think he saved my life. He's appeared to visitors at our house. Cookies. I've never had him make cookies, I'm sorry. So, it is a full-body operation, but it really does seem to be there to help and to protect, and appears to be a human spirit. What the connection is, I have absolutely no idea.
Well, your family has a deep connection to pre-civil war, right?
Well, yeah,
even the land that you live on right now has a deep connection.
Well, yes, it does. It does.
So, the family.
Yeah, that's true.
Something could be something.
But that part of the family was distant, not direct ancestors. So, I don't know. It could be from there, it could be from somewhere else. I don't know. No idea.
You have to introduce yourself?
I'm thinking,
I'm good.
And your fire should be like,
Tired!
not like that. Very good.
Do we have the cheap beer? That's all I want to know. No beer. You better do it. No beer.
You came all the way here from Roger.
What are you guys doing to Rogers? Can I get a Christmas stuff? No.
For my daughter.
So we keep it on time.
You did.
Okay.
We're just teasing.
Yeah. My mother got off work a little later than what she went because she was messing with baby goats.
Yeah.
So baby goats take precedence over the show.
I'm not going to do that. It's a long story, and I don't want to go into it, but
Oh, you got that? Go ahead. Tell us about your baby goats.
okay. So, the mother that I work with, they have goats, and they have been having babies for a couple of days, and they've had, let's just put it this way, yesterday and today they've had 6 sets of twins.
Nice.
Yeah, in 2 days. And so it's been very, very hectic. Well, we went down yesterday morning to see the first 4 that arrived, and I went down there to help her feed them. We got down, and she told me there were 4. I started counting, and there were 5. And I'm like, sure, I missed one. So then I turn around, and there's this itty-bitty, tiny baby goat laying there on the ground, still half in the sack, and another one, nothing to do with it. And so I started, and she kicked in, and I picked her up, and literally, it was like a mule. I mean, I was holding her in the middle, she was tiny. And so we picked her up and took her back to the shop, and we got one towel, one wire, and I treated her just like she was a new baby puppy, because I've done a lot of puppies, and we just nursed her all day. And so she's walking and she now thinks her mama, and so she literally weighs like maybe 2 pounds.
This goat is probably 7 inches tall, maybe 2.5, 3 pounds, maybe.
It's the most precious thing in the world. Wow, because.
So will this goat be in your hair salon?
Well, she's there today.
When do they see a mascot in a baby goat?
We named her Sugar, and so she is absolutely precious.
This goat is probably going to run around our house, if I had to guess. Come on your house pet. Right.
Really do eat the waitress. Yeah. I told Cameron this morning, she was like, Mom, please bring that goat home. Please bring her home. And I said, no, because they'll eat everything. They eat everything in the house. And so we're trying very hard to convince. But,
I'm glad you could really
it was a really good day. Not just because of the goats, but it was just a really good day.
I'm glad that you had a good day.
I did. I was at Ferry yesterday.
Really? And today? Oh, no, and the day before.
The day before, yeah.
Was it a better person?
No. I've been really meditating and really trying to be accept this thing that it is. And it's not a disease. No, I'm not. It's so new, but it's kind of that. It's real, but not real. It's new to me. Anyway, it's not new.
So you must fall into her sensitivity recently.
Like, some of it.
And when people forget that by nature, that is who we are. By nature, everybody is like that. Mm-hmm. And when you get into a field like this and you start working with spirit on a more regular basis, it becomes more apparent how sensitive you actually are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so it really can change your thought process about a lot of things, spirituality being one of them. I think your spirituality either becomes deeper or you reject it. One or the other. People have a tendency to want to learn more, like Big Jim here. Most definitely. Or they just want to, that's crap. That's crap. I don't want to ever do it. You know? Yeah. And if you embrace it, you can actually, there's some great things that you can do for people and yourself and really help others.
Yeah.
You have to be careful, though. Being a sensitive and paranormal research go hand in hand in the fact that if you don't feel right about doing it, don't. Right? So if you don't feel well, if you're tired, if you just don't feel, don't feel like it's right, don't. That's it. I want to go dichotomy taco.
Okay, I will make cookies.
That's not taco thing.
No, you make tacos?
No. I got a taco bell.
That's easier. Are you not cooking now? Okay. Go back.
I'm off now.
So, the night before last, we had a girl in our shop that she's been a regular client for years, and I'm going to say probably 26, 27 years old, and about 2 weeks ago, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago, she lost her sister, her young sister. And her sister was pregnant, and apparently it was at home napping, got sick and vomited and choked on it, and no one was there to help her. And like I said, Anne was pregnant. So this girl just had terrible time. And so she comes in night before last. And I was actually getting ready to go home, and I was just kind of cleaning up a little bit, and I've only known this girl from being a client. I've never met, the only people in her family I've ever met is her husband and their children. So I know what her sister looks like. I have no clue who she is. I didn't even know what her name was. And I had like that picture, like the silent movie kind of thing, just like 4 or 5 images just exploding, just all of a sudden. And I felt an overwhelming urge to ask the girl, and it was in the pictures I saw was this girl in her car, in the client's car. And I said, do you drive to work by yourself? And she said, yes. And I said, okay. And I started asking her questions. She didn't feed me anything, but I was able to, I saw this girl sitting in the car. I saw exactly how she was sitting. I saw exactly the way the seatbelt was, and the way she was sitting on her elbow and she's twirling her hair. And it was so vivid. And I just said, when she sat in the car with you, did she put her seatbelt in? I said her seatbelt's behind her, and she just looked at me and she said she always did it that way. Which I know a lot of people do that way. And I said she was sitting this way and pulling her hair, and she was like, she always felt like that, and she always pulled her hair. And she was like, this is ridiculous, And I said, no, I really feel like she was telling me to tell you that she's with you in the mornings on your drive to work. It was so powerful that I couldn't. I'm like, I know this is weird, and I'm sorry, because I have to tell you this. And she just tears right down her face, and she was like, there's no way you could have known that that's how she said, and that's how, she said, there's no way you could have known that. And I said, and I even got her hair color down to it. She colored her all the time. You know what I mean? It was that kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't want to upset you, but just know that when you're in the car, she said, you were going today. I was late. She said, I just didn't feel like I was by myself. She said, I was getting my bag out of the car, and I went to lean over. I put my hand on the seat, and the seat was warm. And I said, there you go. She's right there. So that was pretty. I think I was up like almost all night, kind of replaying that in my head, because I was like, there's no way I could have done that. There's no, I was questioning myself. I know I wasn't. I know.
And so I'm like, okay, that had to be a good place to say. So yesterday morning when we were down to Baby Goat, we're just doing a thing with Baby Goat and trying to get the mama to take the baby back, and I looked over and it was just me and my girlfriend in the pen, and John, with the fantasy of the story.
I would be a king. You would be the only dude. They might hurt you.
I was on my knees in the mud and putting this basically non-living baby goat in this little shack, and I looked over to talk to my girlfriend, and it was like, this time it was like she was actually standing there. Like there was another person actually standing there. And I kind of like this. It's that whole cartoon kind of thing. And I looked back over, and the thing that started to note is how vivid it was, how I saw all these little things. Like, I don't know if they're telling me to notice all these different things or what, but I mean, I noticed like her rings that she had on and her top and how her hair was and the way she was standing. And I, again, just had this really overwhelming sense that this person didn't belong there, but belonged there, if that makes any sense. So I kind of shook it off a little bit.
And this is the girlfriend's sister.
This is the girlfriend's mother.
Okay.
Yeah, her mother that I saw. This is the second spirit.
Is this the girlfriend you're in the film with?
So the day went on, and we were super busy, and I didn't really think about it again until later on. And I messaged her and said, "Hey, I have a question." And she said, "I said, did your mom have short dark hair?" And never met her mother, obviously passed. Never met her mother before. I've only met one or two of her siblings. And she said, "Yeah, what?" And I just kind of ignored the question. And I said, "Well," and that was the correct question, "but did your mom wear a lot of rings, especially on her pointer fingers?" And I said, "Her nails were polished, all like red, like a red burgundy." She's like, "Yeah, right." And again, I ignored the question, and I said, And it was crazy because this person kept making the same gesture over and over again. And she would put her hand up like that, and then she put her hand on her chest. The spirit was like a coughing. Yeah, and I said, "Did your mom cough a lot?" And she was like, "Okay, now she's freaking me out." And I had no right to ask the question. And I'm like,
nobody's doing that radio.
And I said, "Well, I'm pretty sure I saw your mom today." She was like, "What?" And the funny thing is because she was there whenever I was able to see Kaylee, the little girl that had passed away. And she was like, "Okay, you really," because she's like, "You pinpointed everything about her." And I'm like, "Okay, so I'm not crazy. It was really wrong like this." And she was like, "No, you described her exactly the way that she was." And she said she coughed all the time, and she was a smoker, and so it was really wet cough, and she coughed all the time. And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I just got this overwhelming feeling. I said, "Well, she was there with the devil."
The jokes have been amazing.
They're awesome.
I think it's awesome. I'm glad. I'm so excited to see you grow as a sensitive, because you You have grown quite a bit in a short amount of time.
Is that good?
Well, I grew fast too. I mean, but it was something that I always did. I always knew. I just never focused on it. Yeah. And when you start focusing on it is when it starts building.
Well, and I find, when you do get into special, that's special. But,
this has been interesting. This has been an interesting interview. Kristen and I had to attend a meeting this week. I'm just going to say attend a meeting, and we were both noticing the crows outside the window, and I had two crows, two crows right in front of your car, right in front of my car. One of my spirit guys is two crows. Massive amount of energy in that room. And the meeting went well. I would say it was a fun meeting. It didn't get me riled up, but it was just fun.
I think you had more fun than you thought you were going to.
Oh, I had ball.
I don't believe it.
It was fun. It was just silly people. Silly.
Yeah. That's a good way to say it. Silly.
Well, it's still a weird energy. It's been a high energy.
It has.
You can say wrestling. This is a talk show. They can't see you nod your head as he's drinking his monster. He's always said I've been able to drink 35 monsters in a row and still be quiet. Literally, and I have seen this on trip. How many did you have?
I lost count 40.
This is only a 3-day period.
They weren't regular monsters, so it was the import ones.
He was finding all kinds of weird crap in each other. We had one time we had 8 in a sack. I know that. Yeah. And we were sitting in the back with some entire time quiet. That's sweet. It's like, you can take that to your mother. I mean, we had 8 monsters and...
I can take a drink of wine.
Yeah. You don't know. I want to know that. Maybe let's take one talking because I have to. You want to talk to a man about a horse?
I think it's a boy.
Bleed? You dichotomy.
Well, I mean, we really were talking about helpful spirits and things like that. We were talking about the tornado. Before you guys showed up, like, I can give you shit.
You were right.
But,
we admit it.
It
doesn't happen often, though.
Well, I mean, anyone having thoughts on why is it that we focus so much on the scary, creepy aspect of spirit versus these helpful experiences?
It's not media-worthy.
I think that's the big thing.
Yeah, but even before there was a media, what are the old ghost stories or anything are usually creepy. They're not helpful.
I think it's more fun in most people's minds to scare people. And I think people that are scared of the unknown.
That's what I was going to say. Human beings are really scared of things they don't know, but they don't understand.
Well, if you think about it that way, then why aren't human beings? I don't think they're friendly, but why aren't human beings instead of God? I mean, I think it's doing their money. They don't even look at their own thing. I mean,
it really is all one and the same. I mean, it's the unknown.
I think if you believe in one and you believe in the other, I think that you probably should have a good, healthy amount of being afraid. If
you strongly believe in God, whether he's not known, I mean, I understand what he's saying, but I think you're taught if you've got a strong belief in God, the other things are going to be bad.
Well, I think though Tristan is talking more further back in time, though, than the current conception of God and religion. If I'm hearing what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. We were talking about why humans afraid of God.
Exactly.
I mean, I think some people are,
Well, I think particularly if you go back to early conceptions of the divine and throw out the idea of Christianity or other sects, the role of religion and deities to explain the unknown, it really is not any different, when they came up with the concept of Zeus or Horus or anything else versus spirit. And, we take, as human beings, take leaps of faith that there is good in the supernatural, but we don't focus on that. When you have these experiences that are perceptive, helpful, it seems those are, not really stressed. And even though they would reinforce the idea that there's a benevolence, that there's a higher purpose.
Well,
and so, in a lot of ways, that doesn't make sense.
No, I agree with that. 100%.
And I guess, and a lot now I do think is from dogma to, when people say, oh, you have to just listen to us, don't look at anything else, anything else is bad. But when you go back in time, I'm not sure why it developed that way.
I've done this week, actually.
How's that?
Really truthfully, it just dawned on me this week that the heaven, hell, and earth concept is the lower world, the middle world, and the upper world. And shamanic journeying, there are three different worlds. And this is shamanic journeying in any of the shamanic cultures.
Mm-hmm.
And, the lower world is like raw spirit, animals, things like that. Middle world is here, basically on earth. And the upper world is like spirit guides and stuff like that. Although you can reach guides in both the middle and the lower world, it's more common if you can have the upper world. But it just dawned on me this week that is the concept of hell, earth, and heaven.
Well, that through here is really it is basically every society.
And in some great case.
In great case.
Okay. We call them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it goes back to what I've been shortly learning is, if you really take back all the back to its roots, it's all basically one and the same.
It is one and the same.
Yeah. I don't know that you get modern-day Christians to necessarily agree to that.
Probably not, and that's okay. I mean,
I'm not dogging them for that. I mean, I was raised in a particular religion. I'm still firmly believe in that religion. But I'm open-minded enough and have seen enough things, even before joining the group, that know that there's other things out there other than just my faith.
Sure. And there's more to the faith than people know.
Exactly.
It's a lot deeper than that. I mean, it's a lot deeper than people take it on an everyday basis. You can go to a lot of people that say, we'll use Christianity, not dogma Christianity, but we'll use it. You go to people that use Christianity, and they could not recite one thing out of the Bible. They could not recite one thing out of that Bible, at least a full verse. Well, and then there's a lot of them that can't recite any of it. They can say Holy Bible. That's truly what they will give you. And I have had somebody actually tell me that I need Jesus. I said, okay, fine, you don't need me. Tell me why. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, read the Bible and you'll find out. Well, that ain't an answer. Yeah. You got to tell me why you think I need Jesus. I think Jesus is an excellent man. I've always said that. I think that he was a master teacher. But
Yeah.
Tell me why. Mm-hmm. And I think that's of any faith system that you follow. I don't care what it is. If you can't tell people about your own faith system, you can never tell someone about it.
I read something on Mary Lowe today, and, there were a lot of people that were scared of her religion. Sure, if you read about her, she was a very benevolent person that helped a lot. She helped a lot with her quote-unquote scary religion. Right. Because of what her, what she knew what to do with herbs and incantations and, whatever else she used, because I haven't learned everything I need to yet, I want to. But she helped more people than, yes, there are people that, that are claiming that she did hurt. But I think those people, from what I've read so far, were probably not the most worthy.
Well, and see, that's the thing is that people get these conceptions of voodoo or whatever, and there's very few things out there that, in and of themselves are evil or bad. There's always someone that can use something in a bad way. I mean, it's just, if you want to talk current events and talk about Islam right now, it's the same thing. People have this conception of, that all Muslims are for jihad, etc. And it's not true. And these things that they talk about, that, wild claims, and, the whole idea of the 70 virgins if you are a martyr, etc. It's not the Quran. They'll tell you that, but it's not. And, these are all things that have been made up to make something scary. Because there are people who will take anything and use it for a purpose other than that was originally intended.
Right. I think some faith systems get a bad rap because they're so free-spirited that people think, oh, you're just a troublemaker, I'm Muslim. You're just a troublemaker. And you just out drinking and partying and killing on. They're hurting. They're not hurting you. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what they do. What they do in their faith system is amazing. They help people. They try to heal people. If they want to go and drink a beer afterwards at a bar and have a good time, that's their business. That's not yours. And I'm a friend of I know a lot of people that, would you up in Kansas City? She's funny to watch. She's that woman. But she hurts a lot of people, I mean, she's pretty wild. I think she's wild. But she really is a good person, really. She's club. She'll tell you like it is. Yeah, but she's really cool. And, when we second time we went up there, she helped me, and she's still around about me, and she's still a pretty cool person. Yeah. But sure, when they run things in.
Don't get the Kool-Aid.
No, drink Kool-Aid. Don't drink. Yeah, take it for yourself. Absolutely.
Yes.
Don't take things healthy pills. Don't take anything close to it. Don't listen to me. Don't follow me. Don't get tired of me.
If somebody trying really hard to convince you,
yeah.
That's probably an indication.
Yeah. Absolutely don't follow anyone. Follow yourself. Walk beside other people and make them. It doesn't matter. I like I said, I was going to just go to any church and just sit and listen. Because I think it's amazing. It's fun to see the similarity. I think about it. I love to have a taco. I'm having tacos. And then having a soup. It's good vegetable soup. There's nothing good about those two ones together. Okay, last time, well, thank you team for showing up tonight. Appreciate it. Great conversation.
Yes, I very much appreciate you guys pitching in and talking and sharing ideas. And join us next Friday for another discussion.
Yeah, we have no idea who's going to be on next Friday, but we'll see you then. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Night.
Bye.